Part 5. Online games, only I can see hidden information. Author, Minjaya Old Thief. Chapter 41. The trophies placed in front of Yebai were all treasures of the leader of the fourth demon sect. It was not damaged in the previous battle with Lianzheng, which shows its extraordinary quality. On the far left is an irregular sphere the size of a fist, with golden spots on the black surface, which is particularly heavy. Just this small piece weighs 1,000 pounds. Yebai's strength attribute exceeded 300, so he could barely move it. It was lying on the floor now, and the tiles on the floor could not bear the weight and were crushed into powder. Tile, are you polite? Qingjin meteorite iron, 512 kilograms, a specialty of the abyssal plane, is extremely sharp and has excellent armor-breaking effect. After special refining it is often used to make War King level melee weapons. Nice one. Yebai's heart felt hot. This was the main material for a War King level weapon. Through previous battles with the Bull Demon Warlord, Yebai was sure that the enemy would be crazy to target Shura. Only the boss on the first floor directly carries special SS level props such as Forbidden Demon Pass to restrain the output of the mage. Yebai's path forward will only become more and more difficult. They were targeting mages, so I secretly practiced melee combat and amazed everyone in the battle. Yebai is very clear that if he wants to go further, he must develop in an all-round way. Karen's energy is limited after all. It is obviously unrealistic to want to rapidly improve the level of melee combat. And a handy weapon is the most convenient way, which can greatly enhance Yebai's close combat and life-saving abilities. Put Qingjin meteor iron on the floor. This stone is of great value. Yebai needs to invest a lot of resources if he wants to really use it. Yebai's eyes turned to the second item, a slightly tattered scroll. Shaft of Forbidden Curse. You can rub the Forbidden Curse onto it and release it. The power of the Forbidden Curse is maintained at 80%. Each use consumes 5 points of durability. Durability, 55/100. Stored Forbidden Spells, 0. Number of storages, 2. Hiss. It can actually store Forbidden Curses. It's a skill that only the King of War can barely release. It's said that even the residual power of the Forbidden Curse can make mountains and rivers look strange. Yebai couldn't help but take a breath of cold air. I'm really lucky. This thing was picked up next to Lianzheng. Obviously, Lianzheng also knew the value of the Shaft of Forbidden Curse and carried it with him. Unfortunately, during the previous escape process, the forbidden spells stored inside had long been consumed. Otherwise, when Yebai comes to kill him, what awaits Yebai is a powerful forbidden spell. That is to say, it can store the full blow of a warrior-level warrior, twice. If you make good use of it, it will not only be a life-saving trump card, but also a weapon in battle. Durability consumption. It costs money to fix. Not able to imprint the forbidden spell. Spend money to ask a warrior king level expert to make a rubbing. When it comes to matters related to your own life, spending money is nothing. The value of this thing far exceeds that of Qingjin meteor iron. It may be the biggest gain of my trip. Yebai took the forbidden curse box in his hand and played with it. The more he looked at it, the more he liked it. Contact the blacksmithing master later to repair it, and find someone to rub the forbidden spell. Thinking of this, Yebai suddenly felt cash-strapped. I almost forgot, I only have 2,700 gold coins now. 2,700 gold coins, converted into Jackie Chan coins, is 2.7 million. In just 2 days, Yebai actually complained that he had only 2.7 million. In addition to expansion, it is expansion. However, it's not Yebai's fault. 2,700 gold coins, thrown in front of the King of War, the other party might not even look at it. How to ask the King of War to help you seal the forbidden spell? This is the most troublesome. Yebai felt a big headache. Lack of money, still lack of money. Yabai glanced at the two items at the back. A broken staff. Before it was damaged, it was a God of War level equipment. After it was damaged, the cost of repairing it even exceeded the value of the staff itself. It was the favorite of the leader of the fourth demon cult. He had followed him in battles for many years. In a near-death battle, it was extremely damaged, and the one spirit inside also perished and ceased to exist. This thing is more like a souvenir from the leader of the fourth demon cult. Its value itself can only be said to be average. After looking at it twice, Yabai ignored the staff. The origin of the staff is too special. If Yabai takes it to the trading secret realm to sell it, it will definitely cause a stir and cause unnecessary trouble. In addition, the value of the staff itself is not high, and it cannot be sold for much. Yabai could only throw it into the warehouse to eat dust, and then reuse it when he had the opportunity in the future. The last item is a black square box. The method of opening the square box is extremely complicated. Even if the strong God of War comes, he cannot open it with brute force. If the square box is destroyed, the files saved inside will be automatically destroyed. It can be said that the black square box is an excellent file secrecy device. Even if it falls into the hands of Kinjian War King and others, there is no way to view the files inside. Pity. What it meant was Yabai. Owners of the SSS level talent Eye of Insight can clearly see the files inside without opening the box. This is a list. Yabai's pupils shrank, an idea flashed in his mind, and he immediately realized the role of this list. Yes, you guessed it right, this is a list of middle and high-level cadres of the fourth demon sect. It turns out to be a list of demon sects. Yabai took a pen and paper and copied down the names on the document one by one. Yabai once reported a warrior and received 30,000 gold coins. The weakest people on this list were all 5th level warriors, and the reward was as high as 100,000 gold coins. These are all walking 100,000 gold coins. If we report everyone on this list, we should have 10 million gold coins. Yabai looked at the list of dozens of people and sighed. Just this morning, he was still worrying about 1 million gold coins. But now, he only needs to write dozens of reporting materials and submit them, and he can easily get 10 million gold coins. This money is easy and comfortable to earn. Yabai didn't have any psychological burden when he reported the demon sect believers. None of these guys had their hands covered in blood, with filth written all over them from head to toe. List aside, this list is truly worth its weight in gold. After taking stock, the harvest from this trip is by no means small, and even far exceeds expectations. Yabai looked around. The Chinjin meteor iron and the forbidden curse axis were all things that Yabai could keep for himself. The broken staff was temporarily smashed into his hand as a collection. And the list of demon sect believers is a check for tens of millions of gold coins. Pack up, we haven't eaten dinner yet. After putting everything back into the storage space, Yabai picked up the Lone Wolf medal. During the previous battle, Yabai switched the Lone Wolf medal to silent mode. At this moment, it was switched back to the normal mode, and the Lone Wolf medal shook violently. You have 19,827 unread messages. Buzz. You have 20,193 unread messages. What's the situation? Yabai was surprised to find that his voice mailbox was almost full. He clicked on the first voice message. Hello, Master. I, Lao Wang, have a piece of equipment that needs to be appraised. How many gold coins will you give me for your price? This is. Yabai glanced at it and saw that all the voice messages were similar. They were all coming to him to appraise equipment. What exactly is going on? Online games, only I can see hidden information. Author, Minjai Old Thief. Chapter 42. More than 20,000 unread messages lay in Yabai's voice mailbox. Not only that, this number is still rising crazily, with no signs of stopping. Yebai had no choice but to put the lone wolf medal aside temporarily, turn on the computer, and log into the Wolf Lair forum. As soon as he clicked into the forum, Yebai saw a red, bold, and flaming title. Paid appraisal equipment, including hidden entries, price negotiable. That's weird, wasn't the post posted in the morning? Yebai remembered clearly that at that time he wanted to exchange money for appraisal equipment to lift the bloodline restriction of the Forbidden Demon Pass. After posting, the response was mediocre, and only Li Xiaoping came to visit. Let's see what's going on. Yebai dragged the mouse and quickly browsed the posts. In the first half, most people thought it was a phishing post. Only one user left a message, wanting to identify the equipment. Originally, this incident was over, and Yebai's post slowly faded away. In the afternoon, a user named posted again, saying that he had finished identifying the equipment. He thanked the author and wished he could give him a 50-star review. At that time, it caused a new round of enthusiasm. Some people were shaken, and some questioned whether was a shill, and the two of them were playing double-act phishing here. Big, the deal we made in the secret trading realm, this is a copy of the trading contract. When the deal was revealed, most people shut up. This thing cannot be faked. Even so, they still have doubts about the identification ability of the First Order warriors. Until another user sees the day posted. Seize the day, the original poster's appraisal ability is at least master level, test it yourself. This short sentence instantly ignited the entire Wolf Nest forum and started countless discussions. I read that right, Seize the Day posted a post. He is a master forger. Although the things he forges have a certain effect, he is still a real master forger. The original poster is really a master appraiser. This is not phishing, this is a fish pond. The host is a good person. May your life be safe. Please help me, Lao Wang, identify a piece of equipment. Get out of here upstairs, I was here first, landlord, I have a working level weapon. From then on, it was out of control. After watching the whole farce, Yebai felt a little helpless. If you plant flowers intentionally, they will not bloom, but if you plant willows unintentionally, they will create shade. Posting this post itself is to solve my own problem of lack of money. Now, Yebai has a report list in his hand, all of which are worth 100,000 gold coins, and they will soon become Yebai's pocket. There is no shortage of money for the time being. However, fee appraisal is also a long-term method. Yebai secretly said. Reporting this kind of thing is a one-time deal after all. A person cannot be reported twice. As Yebai's strength increases, his consumption of various resources will also increase. If converted into gold coins, it would be an astronomical figure. A horse will not be fat without night grass, and a man will not be fat without a late-night snack. Having a side job with a stable income is a business that is sure to make money without losing money for Yebai. After thinking about it, Yebai called the Wolf Lair hotline again. Hello, how may I serve you? I want to cancel the commission I sent this morning, or change it? Okay, what do you want to change? I can help people appraise equipment, and the rewards I receive are as follows. A warrior-level warrior will imprint a forbidden spell on a special prop, create a melee weapon with a potential upper limit of a warrior-level weapon, and repair the durability of the special prop. Choose any one of these three. Yebai stated his needs. The value of these things cannot be measured in gold coins. It is better to barter in the forum. And please help me add that I can identify 5 pieces of equipment/props every day, and I have 2 chances left today. Okay, we are registering you here, please wait. Yebai had already drafted this rhetoric in his mind. He knew very well that if he could help people identify equipment an unlimited number of times, it would definitely attract higher level attention and cause unnecessary trouble. So, Yebai thought of a way to disguise himself. Eye of Insight. The sharp eye that I have always looked down upon is an S-level talent. Originally, sharp eyes could only be used 3 times a day. But when Yabai checked the relevant notes, he noticed that sharp eyes can be trained and strengthened, and can be used up to 9 times after strengthening. Yabai claims that he can identify equipment 5 times a day, which is normal. In the eyes of this group of lone wolves, Yabai has a 99.99% probability of having an S-level talent sharp eyes. A dignified SSS-level talent actually needs to be disguised as S-level. The world is declining, and people's hearts are not as good as before. Obviously, Eye of Insight was very dissatisfied with Yabai's actions and protested. The protest was ineffective. The modification has been completed for you. If there are any relevant messages, they will be forwarded to your voicemail box. Thanks. After hanging up the phone, Yabai cleared all the more than 20,000 previous messages. His newly added threshold is enough to screen out the vast majority of people. The 3 requirements are each more demanding than the last. The simplest ones require the action of a warrior-level warrior. Even so, Yabai quickly received nearly 10 messages, and he browsed through them one by one. I can ask the War King level priest to take action and imprint the priest's forbidden spell. I can repair the props and increase their durability by 10-30 points. I hope to exchange them for 2 equipment appraisals. It has the potential to be a king level melee equipment. It comes with its own materials and the price is negotiable. Yabai sifted through them and sorted them according to the urgency in front of him. Equipment creation will be put at the end first. I only have one main material at hand, and I have no idea what equipment I want to build. Durability. The Forbidden Curse shaft still has a durability of 55. It can be used 11 times. You can wait and see. What Yabai needs most right now is the rubbing of the Forbidden Curse. From the messages, Yabai selected 2 people and invited them to meet. One of them quickly responded. No problem, I'm waiting for you in the trading secret realm. Yabai didn't think much and directly activated the tower mark and entered the secret realm of trading. A ball of green flames, waiting at the appointed place. The first time Yabai saw the other party, a line of notes appeared above Qingyan's head. Lu Qingjian, Lu Sueki's grandfather, a warrior at the king level, a fierce warrior in the burning sky. This. Yabai didn't expect that he would meet Lu Sueki's grandfather here. Whatever, he doesn't know my true identity anyway, so I'll rub the forbidden spell of the warrior type. The worst possible outcome is that I won't do business with this old man again. Yabai stepped forward bravely. It was the first time to deal head-on with a warrior at the King of War level. The legendary war kings have the ability to change the world, and the best among them can even kill through some lower planes. Seeing Yabai step forward, Qingjian War King guessed the other party's identity and said with great respect. Hello, Master. Hiss. Yabai smiled knowingly. Boy, I'm very optimistic about you. If you can speak, speak more. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Online games, only I can see hidden information. Author, Minjai Old Thief. Chapter 43. Hello, Master. A war king, even a peak war king, must respectfully shout hello, Master when facing Yabai. Yabai was not a vain person either. He had a slight smile on his face and nodded. I've met Senior War King. This shout of Senior has reached the heart of Qingjian War King. Looking at the ball of thunder elements in front of him, the more he looks at it, the more pleasing he is. Yes, this young man is very good. Since the opponent is registered as a first-level soldier, he is probably not too strong and not too old. The Qingjian War King knew very well that the opponent's potential and value were far beyond those of ordinary war kings, and it was precisely for this reason that he was willing to call him master. Treat peers with equal courtesy. Kinjian War King transformed into two flaming palms, cupped his fists and said, I, Lu Kinjian, have met the master. I have heard about the name of Nanjiang Kinjian for a long time, and now that I have seen it, the old man is expected to take a further step forward. I am gratified. Ye Bai's casual words made Lu Kinjian tremble, and he immediately looked at him with admiration. This guy can see the depth of my realm even through the secret trading realm. Even if he is not a warrior at the king level, he is probably not far away. Although Lu Kinjian was shocked, he also had some doubts in his heart. Such an extraordinary person shouldn't be unknown, that's right. Shuro was born out of nowhere, and the most powerful seeds affected changes in all parties. Many big figures hidden under the dark curtain came to the forefront one after another. The person in front of me is probably in the same situation. Lu Kinjian couldn't help but think highly of this mysterious strong man. He laughed again and said, let's not go through these formalities. What do you want to call you? The fourth oldest, if you don't mind, call me fourth brother. What kind of person is Lu Kinjian? A person who can become the king of war cannot rely solely on brute force to fight. He immediately said, fourth brother, this matter of mine is a bit tricky. I hope you can swear an oath of confidentiality. No problem. Ye Bai agreed, but it was a bit strange why it was so mysterious. Under the witness of the secret realm elves, Ye Bai swore an oath of confidentiality not to reveal Lu Kinjian's secret to the outside world. Fourth brother, this is what happened. Lu Kinjian briefly introduced what happened to his granddaughter. However, he could hide the existence of Ye Bai and only say that his granddaughter's talent had unintentionally awakened for the second time and was now an S-level talent. Ye Bai said with emotion as if hearing this for the first time. What a blessing. Lu Kinjian said with a bit of show-off and pride, pretending to be humble, there are also noble people who help me. Nonsense, of course I know there are noble people to help me. Ye Bai couldn't help but roll his eyes in his heart, because that noble person was himself. So, does the matter that Senior Kinjian is looking for me have to do with your granddaughter? When communicating with Lu Kinjian, Ye Bai had to put on airs and act like an outsider. He calls Lu Kinjian Senior, and Lu Kinjian calls him fourth brother. This generational hierarchy is quite chaotic. To each his own. It's true, fourth brother. My granddaughter can sacrifice special items to summon otherworldly creatures to assist in battle. I wonder if you can help identify them. Lu Kinjian said sincerely. He has no shortage of equipment, weapons, and props, and has already prepared them for Lu Sueki. To take a step back, there is no need to ask fourth brother, the appraisal master, to take action on low-level equipment. Ye Bai said modestly, you can try it. As for whether it will succeed, I can't guarantee it for the time being. You are so humble, I will definitely succeed 100%. Okay, okay, okay. Lu Kinjian said 3 good words in a row, and the corners of his mouth almost reached the base of his ears. Tonight my granddaughter will reach level 10 and participate in the job transfer. After the job transfer was completed, I took her to the trading secret realm to bother fourth brother. As for the reward, it will definitely satisfy my fourth brother. After talking about Lu Sueki, Lu Kinjian took out a War King level weapon and asked Ye Bai to help identify the advancement requirements. Advanced conditions: burn the 6th demon god's finger bones into ashes and apply it on the handle of the knife. Apply it every 12 hours. You can advance after 6 times. After the appraisal, Ye Bai couldn't help complaining in his heart. Who would have thought of such harsh advancement conditions? Why is it that after Ye Bai posted his post, there was an overwhelming response on the Wolf Nest forum? Everyone has more or less advanced equipment in their hands, and it is impossible to identify the advanced equipment. And appraisal masters are even rarer than blacksmith masters. Not all forging masters are also masters in appraisal. Seize the day I am also a forging master, but I entrust Yebai to appraise it. From this incident, it is not difficult to see how rare and noble the appraiser master is. After putting away the weapon, Lu Qingjian felt refreshed and good things had happened recently. Fourth brother, let's talk about remuneration. He has always been generous in his actions. I saw fourth brother said on the forum, how many times does it take to imprint the forbidden spell? 2 times. It's all on me. Lu Qingjian introduced, even if you are a war king, you have to pay a heavy price for using a forbidden curse. Otherwise, how can it be called a forbidden curse? After using the forbidden spell, the war king's own combat power will also be affected. The weaker war king will even enter a period of weakness. Of course, as long as enough resources are invested, various healing potions and scrolls can be recovered quickly. Therefore, rubbing the forbidden curse is actually a costly job. Lu Qingjian said bluntly, I don't have to participate in frontline battles or attack the Eternal Tower recently, so it's just the right time to make a rubbing. He was so generous, and Yebai was not polite. Then please trouble Senior Qingjian and help me rub the 2 forbidden spells Burning Silence in the 4 Seas and Eternal Fire. Good taste. Lu Qingjian couldn't help but sigh, these 2 forbidden spells were his signature skills and their effects were outstanding. Although it is not the strongest forbidden spell that Lu Qingjian has mastered, it is the most convenient to use. Burning Silence in the world, a large-scale AoE, can cause massive fire damage to the surroundings, burn everything, and has a special damage bonus to water creatures. There is no chance for anyone below the War King level to survive. Even if he is a War King, he will suffer a heavy loss if he resists Burning Silence in the 4 Seas without any precautions. Eternal Fire, a life-saving skill, after use, up to 18 heart lamps will light up all over the caster's body. As long as the lamps remain on, the caster will not die. Of course, after suffering massive amounts of damage, you will still die. In the face of absolute power, everything is just a cloud. However, Eternal Fire is extremely effective as a life-saving forbidden spell. Taking over the axis of the forbidden curse, Lu Qingjian began to rub the forbidden curse on the spot. Burning the Silence of the World took 2 rubbings before it was successful, and Eternal Fire took 4 rubbings. Lu Qingjian returned the forbidden curse shaft to Yebai, wiped the sweat from his forehead, and introduced. Burning the Silence of the World should be able to cause tens of billions of fire magic damage. It can be regarded as a casual blow from the King of War. The fire is not extinguished. I succeeded in rubbing the first time, but the effect was not very satisfactory. I repeated the rubbing 3 times, and it should be able to light up 16 heart lamps. Unless the King of War takes action, there will be no danger of death. Thank you, Senior Qingjian. Yebai saw the other party's show of kindness and remembered it in his heart. Lu Qingjian did this not only to pay Yebai's appraisal fee, but also to pave the way for his granddaughter. Senior, I have something else to do, so I'll take my leave now. Fourth brother, walk slowly. Lu Qingjian watched Yebai leave and nodded slightly. This fourth brother is probably training a junior, a successor. These 2 forbidden spells are very useless considering the real strength of the fourth brother. On the contrary, they are most suitable for protecting the body of this junior. Lu Qingjian's eyes were so vicious, and he immediately judged that the King of War definitely did not need such a thing. As for who the juniors trained by the fourth brother were, Lu Qingjian was a little curious. No matter what, she will never be stronger than my granddaughter Xueqi. Second awakening, S-level talent, ha ha ha, my old comrade's eyes will probably turn red. After leaving the trading secret realm, Yebai returned to Blue Star. Through the Lone Wolf medal, Yebai declined other people's requests for identification. At the moment, he is neither short of money nor forbidden spells, and he has almost used up the 5 appraisals for today. Lu Qingjian spent a lot of time rubbing the forbidden spell, and it was approaching 12 o'clock. Yabai also has to prepare for the upcoming trip to the Eternal Tower. Tick tick tick. The second hand, hour hand, and minute hand cross thousands of mountains and rivers and come together again. 12 o'clock. Yabai activated the tower mark. Welcome to Eternal Core City. Online games, only I can see hidden information. Author, Minjaya Old Thief. Chapter 44. Welcome to Eternal Core City. The familiar beep sounded again. Yabai did not immediately enter the Eternal Tower to explore, but came to the wolf's lair. Hello, I'll submit the task. It was still the young lady with a sweet voice who warmly received Yabai. Okay, scanning the lone wolf number, please wait. Mission, track down Lian Zheng, please choose the completion method, provide clues, capture alive, kill. Killed, there were lone wolf marks left on the scene. Verifying. Yabai was not worried about verification failure. According to the introduction of the lone wolf camp, as long as you leave a lone wolf mark after completing the mission, you will definitely be recognized. Wolf's Den has a special method to verify. After verification, the reward for this mission will be issued to you. Task rating, S level, completion level, 100%, 2000 lone wolf points obtained, lone wolf level upgraded gold. In addition to the division of combat power, there is also a grade system within lone wolf. Bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamonds, stars. As for whether higher grades exist, Yabai is still unclear. After completing this mission, Yabai was directly promoted from bronze to gold, crossing a huge grade. Yabai's lone wolf medal was also plated with a dark gold edge, which was low-key and luxurious. This is the mission reward, 100,000 gold coins. Please keep it. The young lady saw that Yabai was promoted for the first time and couldn't help but say a few more words. The ranks within the lone wolf are very valuable. As a golden lone wolf, even if you are only a first-level soldier, you can enjoy the treatment of a warrior-level official. Your allowance has also been increased from 30,000 dragon coins per month to 90,000 dragon coins. In the internal mall of Wolf Nest, you can enjoy a 20% discount. There are currently 2,000 points available. If you upgrade your combat power level in the future, your lone wolf level will automatically drop one level. In other words, Yabai is gold when he is a warrior. If he is promoted to a warrior, his grade will automatically drop to silver. Listening to the other party's introduction, Yabai nodded slowly. This was the first time he had heard of these contents. Ordinary tasks will not award lone wolf points at all. Obviously, Lian Zheng's special identity played a role. The top management of Wolf Nest probably already knew that Lian Zheng was the son of the leader of the fourth demon sect. After all, Yabai made a lot of money from this mission. 100,000 gold coins, which is 100 million dragon coins. For the current Yabai, it can't be said to be trivial, but only moderately significant. The most valuable thing is 2,000 points, which has a purchasing power comparable to 200,000 gold coins. As well as being promoted to Golden Lone Wolf, Yabai will enjoy a lot of conveniences in the future. By the way, you have entered the War Soldier Gold list, ranking 9,812 in the world. You can enter a pseudonym on the Lone Wolf medal, or you can enter your Eternal ID as a souvenir. Ranked 9,812 globally. Yabai nodded, indicating that he understood. He then asked, I have information about demon sect traders that I need to report, involving Lian Zheng's father. Can you help me report it to the superiors? Yabai didn't forget that he still had a list of senior members of the fourth demon sect in his arms. Yabai must hand over this list as soon as possible, and those walking 100,000 gold coins must be brought to justice as soon as possible. Yabai is not greedy for money. These people will always be hidden dangers if they stay within the human race. They should be reported as soon as possible. If they are allowed to continue hiding, God knows what the consequences will be. If you are sick and treated early, bad people will die early. If you die early and be reincarnated early, you will still have a chance to be a good person in the next life. Even if you are not a human being, you can still be a pig, a dog, a bug, or something like that, but you are still doing good deeds. This is the truth. The young lady at the front desk obviously didn't realize the seriousness of the matter and returned with a smile. Reporting information can be registered with us without bothering superiors, and corresponding rewards will be issued in full. Unless the high-level members of the demon cult are involved, even the War King can report it here. Obviously, she didn't know the true identity of Lian Zheng's father. The other party is the leader of the fourth demon sect, the former human god of war. Otherwise, she would definitely do what Ye Bai said. Ye Bai insisted on his point of view and said again, "Please help me report this information. Someone should handle it." "Okay, just a second." The lady at the front desk submitted this information in the system and handed it over to the more senior War King supervisor. Click, click. Time passed by minute, and the clock decorated on the wall turned slowly. "The message has been submitted for 1 minute. The young lady at the front desk spoke again. "Sir, the information you provided may not be enough to attract the attention of senior management. Can you reveal more?" There was a loud noise and her words stopped abruptly. Boom! The door of the wolf's den was kicked open, and a strong wind broke into the wolf's den, destroying the nearby tables and chairs and leaving a mess everywhere. Many guests were also thrown away and rolled several times on the ground, raising their heads angrily. "Who doesn't have eyes?" Halfway through the words, I got stuck in my throat and couldn't spit out a word. The culprit, the fierce man who kicked open the door of the wolf's den, was tall and strode into the wolf's den. The other party carried a huge lone wolf medal on his shoulder, shining with the light of stars. Someone exclaimed, "War God level, Star Lone Wolf." The 9-star chain above is the 9-star Lone Wolf, number 1 on the star list, Xue Meng. Someone recognized the identity of the person, which immediately attracted the attention of the entire audience. Xue Meng, as his name suggests, is just one word, fierce. He strode to the bar, ignored all eyes, and looked at Ye Bai with a loud voice. "Boy, did you report the news?" The lady at the front desk beside me was shaking slightly and couldn't say a complete sentence, so she could only nod. "It's him." She never expected that the information Ye Bai asked her to report would actually attract Xue Meng. The lady at the front desk superior is just the War King, and Xue Meng is her superior. How did you provoke this great god? It's not the fault of the young lady at the front desk, but the fact that Xue Meng has too many labels. God of War level star list number 1, 9th level God of War, SS level talent, adopted son of the most powerful. Any label, taken alone, is as heavy as a mountain. Xue Meng collected all these terrifying labels. Boy, lying about information is a serious crime. You have to think clearly before you say anything. Xue Meng frowned slightly. He didn't think the First Order soldier in front of him could provide any useful information. However, since the other party has killed Lian Zheng, maybe he really has some information. It was precisely for this reason that Xue Meng deigned to make this trip. Do you want me to say it now? Facing Xue Meng, Ye Bai was not frightened like others, but was very calm. Xue Meng was stunned at first, but he didn't expect that this guy would turn his back on the guests. Then, he smiled heartily and said, "Good boy, I almost scared you. This is really not the place to talk. Come on, come into the house with me." With that said, Xue Meng led Ye Bai inside. Why do these words sound so gay to me? Ye Bai complained in his heart, but his body was honest and followed Xue Meng forward. The two came to an independent office deep in the wolf lair. "Sit down, no one can pry into what we are talking about here except the strongest." Xuemeng threw himself on the sofa, occupying the entire sofa, and looked at Ye Bai. Now can we tell you something about Lian Zheng's father? Or, would you rather call him, the leader of the fourth demon sect? Online games, only I can see hidden information. Author, Minjai Old Thief. Chapter 45. The leader of the fourth demon sect. Even though the fourth demon sect's main altar was breached, a god of war level warrior could still escape despite being surrounded by many god of war warriors. He poses a greater threat to the human race, even greater than the demon god. The devil is too far away and the leader is too close. Catch him as soon as possible and eliminate the hidden danger as soon as possible. Before talking about him, there is a list for you to take a look at. As he spoke, Ye Bai handed over a list with dozens of names written on it. Xuemeng took the list casually and glanced at it casually. His body trembled, 2 rays of light shot out of his eyes, and he stood up with an extremely serious look on his face. What is this list? His tone was inquiring, but judging from his expression, he probably already guessed the answer and just wanted to confirm it. Ye Bai nodded and implemented Xuemeng's idea. That's right. This list is the list of the senior and middle level members of the fourth demon cult. Boom. Xuemeng's face suddenly twisted, veins popped out in both arms, and he clenched his hands into fists. The list in his hand instantly turned into powder. His back teeth clenched and he let out a roar like a beast from the depths of his throat. Thief, damn it! Ye Bai reminded from the side. Ahem, you shredded the list, this is the one I have. You didn't tell me earlier. Xuemeng rolled his eyes, raised his 2 palms, and all the paper powder was spinning in his palms. In less than 3 seconds, the list returned to its original state. Look, are there any mistakes? With Xuemeng's level, even with just a casual glance, he could imprint the list in his mind. After confirming that the list was correct, Ye Bai returned it to Xuemeng. After getting over the initial anger, Xuemeng calmed down. Where did you get this list? He mused. The stakes are high, so we have to be cautious. You know, many people on your list are still in high positions and hold important positions. Accusing them of being followers of the demon cult is no small matter. It's best to come up with evidence. Ye Bai came up with the explanation he had prepared a long time ago. After Lian Zheng died, I found a small box among his belongings, which contained a list. I glanced at the list, and the small box changed automatically and was locked. With that said, Ye Bai took out the small black box and placed it in front of Xuemeng. Did you open this box later? No. How do you open this thing? Xuemeng held the square box with one hand and scratched his head with the other hand. He wanted to smash the box with his palm, but he was afraid of destroying the list inside. Ye Bai said without hesitation. I think you can open it easily. Xuemeng was stunned, his face changed slightly, he couldn't admit that he couldn't open it, that would be too embarrassing. Certainly. Xuemeng said bravely. Ye Bai took the opportunity to say. After you open it, you will know the authenticity of the list. In fact, Xuemeng already believed 70% to 80% of the list in front of him. 1/3 of the people on the list are already dead. After the fourth demon sect's main altar was breached, they were either dead or captured, and their identities were no longer a secret. However, the remaining 2/3 are still deeply hidden. These people are a huge hidden danger. If they are allowed to continue to lurk, the defeated fourth demonic cult will soon resurgence. Only by uprooting them can we scrape the bones and cure the poison. In other words, the list sent by the other party is of immeasurable value. We will use multiple methods to verify the authenticity of the list. We will not wrongfully accuse good people or let bad people go. Xuemeng calmed down and said thoughtfully. As for your reporting reward, it will be distributed after the list is thoroughly verified, okay. Before Ye Bai agreed, Xuemeng took the initiative to add. This will be a lot of money. If you want to advance part of it, it's less than 100 million gold coins, just ask. Hiss. As expected of a 9th level god of war, he asked for 100 million gold coins. However, Ye Bai is not in a hurry to ask for money now, it is his and he can't escape. There's no need to pay in advance. I'm not reporting this just for money. There is still righteousness in the world. It's okay if Ye Bai doesn't emphasize it. As soon as he emphasized, Xuemeng looked at him strangely. This kid, could he report it just for the reward? In any case, Ye Bai sending this list is a great contribution to the human race. Xuemeng didn't pay attention to the details, put the list away, and asked him again about the topic he was most concerned about. You said before that there was news about Lian Zheng's father. Is it true or false? The list is important, but the leader of the 4th demon sect is even better. If you can catch the leader of the demon cult, it is better than catching 10 or 100 war kings. It's true, I know his next move. Under Xuemeng's expectant gaze, Ye Bai was very calm and said word by word. He will come to Nanjiang City. Nanjiang City? What was he doing in Nanjiang City? By the way, his son died there. Xuemeng's expression suddenly froze, and he suddenly raised his head to look at Ye Bai. A bold idea emerged in his heart. Shouldn't it be? Ye Bai nodded, once again confirming Xuemeng's suspicion. Yes, he came to kill me. The hatred of killing a son is irreconcilable. The leader of the 4th demon sect swore on his life to kill Ye Bai. He must come to Nanjiang City and even return to the scene to track down Ye Bai's whereabouts. There is no doubt that Ye Bai is in an extremely dangerous situation, and being cared about by a god of war is no small matter. Xuemeng was speechless, walked to Ye Bai, patted his shoulder, and said in a deep voice. Eat more of whatever you like. Ye Bai. Your tone makes it sound like I'm dying. Use your 9th level god of war strength, big brother, isn't he the leader of the demon cult? Deal with him. Just kidding. Xuemeng forced out a stiff smile and warned. Hide your identity. I will send people to keep an eye on the scene and ambush the leader of the demon cult. Maybe we can capture him directly. Anyway, there's not much you can do if you're targeted by a god of war. Just leave it to fate. Saying that, Xuemeng sent Ye Bai out. Go to the Eternal Tower to improve your strength as soon as possible. The opponent may not necessarily end up personally and attack you. Even so, he randomly sends out 3 or 2 kittens and puppies, which are at the level of a war king, enough for you to drink a pot. Xuemeng had to admit that even if it were him, when he was a warrior, he would have narrowly escaped death in this situation. It was extremely difficult for Ye Bai to remain calm. Xuemeng said casually, Lone Wolf's pension is still very generous. Ye Bai. Speak out what's on your mind, brother. Is it really appropriate for you to say this? Ye Bai deeply realized what it means. Some people are still alive, but he is already dead. Xuemeng sent Ye Bai to the door of the wolf lair and said in a deep voice, Take care. This is bad luck, let's stay away. Ye Bai didn't want to stay with Xuemeng for a second and hurried to the Eternal Tower. After Ye Bai left, Xuemeng smiled. You brat, you dare to tease me with a square box. If I don't scare you, I don't have the surname Meng. Before, Ye Bai used a square box to put a hat on Xuemeng, leaving Xuemeng dumbfounded. Xuemeng threatened Ye Bai with a backhand, and it was considered even. That's it, if you are targeted by a war god level old monster, you really can't survive on your own. With that said, Xuemeng took off his lone wolf medal from his shoulder and started to operate it. Apply to Shadow, it's best to send Shadow level old monsters to protect him. If he can apply for temporary protection from an old monster in the top 40 Shadow levels, his little life will be safe. Of course, Xuemeng had no hope either. Shadow level experts are the top beings in Shadow, and they are all allocated according to the potential of the lone wolf. Back then, Xuemeng was followed by Shadow 23. This means that among his generation, his potential ranks 23rd. It is too difficult to apply for protection in the top 40 shadow level, even for temporary protection. However, it is always right to improve the security of this boy first and at least send a god of war to protect him secretly. Less than 3 seconds after Xuemeng submitted the application, there was immediate feedback. Looking at the feedback information, Xuemeng fell into a daze, as if he was a sculpture, frozen in place. On his lone wolf medal, there are 8 black and bold words. Insufficient authority, application rejected. He is a 9th level god of war, number 1 on the star ranking, but he doesn't even have the authority to apply. That kid, what is his origin? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Online games, only I can see hidden information. Author, Minjia Old Thief. Chapter 46. After leaving the wolf lair, Ye Bai went directly to the Eternal Tower. Summoning the Eternal Core Crystal, placing his palm on it, the white light engulfed Ye Bai. Transmitting, current level, 2. I wish you can clear the Eternal Tower as soon as possible. When he opened his eyes again, Ye Bai fell on a barren land. Wherever he looked, there were wounds and devastation everywhere. The sky is covered with thick clouds, which are extremely dark and heavy, making people extremely depressed and breathless. The second floor of the Eternal Tower, the secret realm of job transfer. Ye Bai looked at the scene in front of him, and the corresponding information emerged in his heart. The first floor of the Eternal Tower is mainly a leveling point from levels 1 to 10. Level 10 is the level at which players change jobs for the first time. Therefore, the second floor of the Eternal Tower, as a personal copy, is only responsible for one thing: job change. Players can complete the job change by killing monsters, dropping job transfer props, and choosing the job transfer props that best suit them. But Ye Bai faces an embarrassing situation: he has changed his job. The SSS level template, Sky Wrath Mage, Thunder type, is the most suitable choice for Ye Bai. For him, the secret realm of job transfer was completely useless. Ye Bai thought this before entering the second floor of the Eternal Tower. When he was actually there, new information appeared in front of Ye Bai's eyes. After the exploration degree reaches 100%, you will receive additional rewards. Sky Wrath Mage will be added to the list. There is such a good thing. The Sky Wrath Mage career template obtained by Ye Bai belongs to the Thunder system and has full output ability. It is an SSS level career template, and all attributes and improvements are top-notch. If he can make further progress, for Ye Bai, it will certainly be a sure profit business. There's no strategy for this level, it's all over. Ye Bai looked at the monsters around him, eager to try. Ever since his debut, Ye Bai's method of solving boss has always been to be ready to attack and then use a lightning bolt to solve everything after stacking up. Even if the kills are timed, it's the same routine. In fact, among the damage skills mastered by Ye Bai, Sky Thunder has higher damage than Lightning Arrow and Lightning Arrow, and when the target's blood volume is less than 30%, Sky Thunder can also cause real damage. But Ye Bai will never use Sky Thunder easily when he is outside. The reason is simple. Sky Thunder is the exclusive skill of Sky Wrath Mage. It is highly recognizable. Once used, the traces left behind will easily remind people of Shura. After all, the whole world knew that Shura changed his profession and became the Sky Wrath Mage. Lightning arrows, on the other hand, are commonplace. Even a mage has the opportunity to learn them. There is no way to trace Ye Bai. Just in time, let's take advantage of the opportunity of fighting to practice the thunder. Tianlei is a career-specific skill. After using it enough times, your proficiency will increase and you will have the opportunity to upgrade. After making up his mind, Yebai looked around and his plan was very clear. Goal 1, achieve 100% exploration and add a series. Goal 2, use Sky Thunder as much as possible and strive to advance. Yebai clicks on Sky Thunder skill introduction. Sky Thunder, LV1, summons a Sky Thunder to fall from the sky, hitting the enemy, causing 200 add 2 asterisk intelligence, thunder damage. When the enemy's health is lower than 30%, it will cause real damage. Every time an enemy is hit with a Sky Thunder, the basic thunder damage of this skill will be permanently increased by 5 points. Enemies hit by thunder will have a 100% slowdown effect and a random negative buff. Mana consumption, 200 points. Cooling time, 2s. Yebai's intelligence attribute is 285 points, which is 200 add 285 asterisk 2 equals 770 points of damage. The Wrath Mage can increase the damage of thunder skills by 100%, and the power of nature by 15%, which is 770 asterisk 2.15 equal 1655 points of damage. Without superimposing any buff, Yebai can cause 1655 points of thunder damage to a target with 0 magic resistance. If the target's health is less than 30%, it is directly converted into 1655 points of real damage. The most terrifying thing is that the use of Tianli can be grown. Every time it is used, it can increase the basic damage by 5 points. Putting away the skill introduction, Yebai looked at a two-headed ogre not far away. Two-headed ogre, HP, 2500/2500, good target. Oh, he noticed you and decided to make you a meal at the last minute. The two-headed ogre looked at Yebai, took clumsy steps, and sprinted over. Thunder. -1364. A bright red number appeared above the ogre's head, and his body suddenly slowed down, as if in slow motion in a movie. Slowness buff. Sky Thunder has a total CD of 2 seconds, and Sky Wrath Mage can reduce the cooling time by 50%, leaving only 1 second. Thunder. A second later, a cyan lightning fell again. -1665. When the ogre's bloodline is lower than 30%, it directly ignores magic resistance and causes real damage. Boom. The ogre fell to the ground with a crash, exuding a burnt aura. Experience add 200. Exploration degree add 0.1%. In less than 2 seconds, the ogre is eliminated, and the base damage of the Sky Thunder is increased by 10 points. It works well. Yebai was very satisfied and looked at the monster further away. In his eyes, these monsters are the experience of walking, the most appropriate growth tools for thunder. Don't leave, I'll hit you with a thunderbolt. Rumble. Throughout the wasteland, thunder continued, monsters fell one after another, and Yebai never tired of it. Windwalking slash. Thunder. Monkey steals peach. Happiness, sometimes is so simple. This is the second floor of the Eternal Tower. Lusweki looked around curiously, the canary on her shoulder looking disdainfully. She spent 6 hours fighting on the first level yesterday. With the help of powerful pets and the limited time buff provided by Shura, she reached level 10 early. Today I even passed the level with an exploration level of 83%. Before she entered the Eternal Tower, her grandfather Lukinjian specifically told her that she must complete her job transfer today. There is a great opportunity waiting for her. If she misses it, she will regret it for the rest of her life. Lusweki didn't dare to neglect, and rushed to the second floor without stopping, preparing to change jobs. Kill as many monsters as possible, drop high-level job transfer props, and increase exploration. The canary on Lusweki's shoulder once again faced the storm and turned into a golden-winged rock. Golden flames swept across the land, and monsters continued to die in the sea of fire. Fortunately, the second level is a single-player copy, which allows me to use my full strength. Lusweki secretly thought that her second awakening of S-level talent needs to be kept secret. Even Lukinjian supports Lusweki's approach. Now is an extraordinary period. The way to grow up and make a fortune in silence is the way to go. Based on my previous experience, at the second level, the exploration rate can reach 80%. If you finally get the S-level career template, it will be considered an extraordinary performance. At higher levels, it will be very difficult to attack, and there is a high probability of failure. Lusweki is very self-aware. Aim for 80% and strive for it. An exploration rate of 80% is considered an excellent result for an S-level talent. After making up her mind, Lusweki followed the golden winged Dapen and embarked on the road to battle together. The exploration level is 90%. Yebai looked at the wasteland strewn with corpses and took back the power of nature. His body was not stained by the dust of travel, and he felt particularly relaxed and happy. He was the only living person in the entire wasteland. It's like the god of death descending on the earth. Wherever he goes, no one survives. Follow the strategy. After killing all the monsters, the exploration rate reaches 90%, and the final boss will come. Cause damage to the boss as much as possible to increase the exploration rate. After successfully killing it, the exploration rate will reach 100%. Yebai looked at the sky with bright eyes. When the last monster died, the thick clouds began to move, making deafening roars. A huge shadow shrouded Yebai's head, as if an indescribable terrifying existence was about to come. Yebai is fully focused and ready. The big one is coming. Online games, only I can see hidden information. Author, Minjai Old Thief. Chapter 47. The thick ink-colored cloud slowly sank downwards, making the depressed people unable to breathe. Yebai stood on a hill, raised his head slightly, and calmly said, "Ready to go." The cooldown of charging up is 10 seconds. The cooldown of Skywrath Mage is -50%, which means it stacks once every 5 seconds. It takes 150 seconds, 2.5 minutes, to fully stack 30 times. The boss behind the clouds obviously didn't let Yebai wait too long, and soon revealed his true appearance. The humanoid creature has a body of 3 meters high, with muscles all over its body. It is full of power and brings a strong visual impact to people. The wings behind it are waving in the air. The gray wings are long and sharp, and every time they flap, they stir up a whirlwind with terrifying force. In front of Yebai, a birdman appeared. This birdman from Kos Legenze, also known as the Winged Fallen Angel, yes, you guessed it right, he was corrupted by the power of the devil. Oh, he still has lines to say, so why not listen to his cheesy opening remarks? Mortals, worship me and kneel down, and you will gain great power. Sure enough, an extremely cliched opening. Yebai continued to say ready to attack and casually dealt with the opponent. So, what's the price? The price? Real power does not require any price, it only requires a heart that desires to become stronger. Birdman crossed his two thick arms, looked down at Yebai, and said arrogantly. The fifth demon, the fifth god I serve was the former master of the Eternal Tower. At least you should be more dedicated. Can you still talk about this? Yebai couldn't help but rolled his eyes. Birdman had revealed all his trump cards. He was just a lackey of the fifth demon. His rhetoric is just enough to coax a 3-year-old child, but it is useless when faced with a positive New Age youth like Yebai. I won't accept this from you. Yebai was actually curious about another question. The second floor of the Eternal Tower is a single-player dungeon. Everyone will encounter different monsters and bosses after entering. How did the other party find him accurately? But the birdman's attitude towards Yebai obviously didn't know that Yebai was Shura. That is to say, they worked together to contaminate the entire dungeon. Anyone who enters the second level during this period will encounter the demonized boss. This is the only reasonable explanation. We have to find a way to purify the second level. Yabai looked at Birdman, and his eyes gradually became murderous. It's best to chop this kind of dirty thing into ashes as soon as possible. One-stop funeral service from entry to burial. Yabai took a look at the number of ready-to-go layers. It was already 20 layers, and there were still 10 layers left, 50 seconds away. Birdman saw that Yabai was unmoved and understood that verbal promises alone could not impress him. Those who can reach the second level at this time are all geniuses of the human race, and their IQ and EQ are always online. Mortals, kneel before me, and you will gain what you seek. As he spoke, the Birdman stretched out his right arm, and a ball of light appeared in his palm. This is a job-changing item for SS-level hidden professions. Even if you defeat me, you can only get this level of reward at most. This thing may be quite tempting to other people. But for Yabai, what do you think of the SS-level career template? Don't even look at it. I have the SSS-level professional template Skywrath Mage. Am I proud? Am I proud? Simply don't be too proud. Yabai continued to say perfunctorily, it's amazing. He even raised his hand and gave the other party some sporadic applause. Snort. Birdman snorted coldly, obviously seeing that Yabai was unmoved. He smiled crookedly and said disdainfully, you humans have a saying, if you don't eat a toast, you will be punished with a drink. Yabai suddenly interjected. I'm under 18 and can't drink. Birdman, what the hell is this about alcohol? This is called metaphor, 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 you know. Bird's feathers stood on end, wishing he could give him a Chinese tutoring class on the spot. I'm telling you, if you don't want to follow my lord, you won't get the good fruit. I will tear you apart, crush you to pieces, and chew you to every bone. The Birdman's face showed a fierce look, and he said sadly, do you know what is the most wonderful thing? During this process, you are not only alive, but also extremely awake. You can clearly feel every pain and the cry of every cell. It's so wonderful. I'm so scared. The stack of ready to go was almost full, and Yabai didn't even bother to pretend. He's ready for a showdown. Both sides have reached the point where they are desperate, and a war is inevitable. Birdman's eyes were blazing with fire. He swore that this was the most irritating guy he had ever met. This person shouldn't be a mage at all, but a warrior. It comes with a taunting skill, and the taunting effect is so full that it makes people want to eat it alive. It seems that just talking is useless. I have to make you suffer a little. The Birdman snorted coldly, flapped his wings, dived, and headed straight for Yabai. Etc. Yabai suddenly interrupted Birdman. Actually, I just lied to you about something. Birdman stopped sprinting. In his opinion, the power disparity between the two was huge, like an ant and a giant dragon. The other side had no chance of making a comeback. It is also a kind of fun to listen to the other person's words of struggle before death. Obviously, he didn't understand the principle that villains die from talking too much, and he was full of arrogance and prejudice towards Yabai. What did you lie to me about? Actually, I'm over 18. The purpose of delaying time is achieved, and it is ready to stack up to 30 layers. New notes appeared in front of Yabai's eyes. His blood volume is only 120,000, and his resistance to thunder magic is 80%. I mean, you can easily kill him instantly. You are waiting to gain momentum, what is he waiting for? Yabai smiled slightly and added the second half of the sentence for eye of insight. He's waiting to die. The Birdman's ears twitched, his eyes glared, and he said sternly, arrogant. Let's see how I put an end to you. Long-winded. Yabai pointed his staff forward and roared in a low voice. Thunder. Boom. An extremely thick red lightning dispersed the clouds, as if it was about to penetrate the sky. It struck down with the speed of a thunderbolt supreme member and hit the fallen angel's head hard, defeating everything. He didn't even give the other party any time to react. The fallen angel's eyes were filled with shock, and bit by bit turned into ashes with the wind, turning into fertilizer for the wasteland beneath his feet. The moment before his death, he figured out one thing. Sky Thunder, the exclusive skill of Sky Wrath Mage. You are, Shura. Unfortunately, this secret fell into the arms of death forever with him. When the answer of fate reveals the tip of the iceberg of the truth to him, the only thing waiting for him is eternal and true death. The moment Yebai killed the Birdman, the dark clouds in the sky swept away, and the ground beneath the feet of everyone on the second floor of the Eternal Tower was shaking crazily. How is this going? Lusweki stood on the back of the golden-winged rock, looking to the ground in shock and with lingering fear. Just now, a terrifying gap opened in the ground, swallowing many monsters and entering it. Even Lusweki almost fell down. Never heard of anything like this happening. What happened? Just when Lusweki was confused, a clear voice sounded in her ears, a server-wide announcement from the Eternal Tower. Congratulations to player Shura for clearing the second floor of the Eternal Tower at SSSS level. It has been detected that the second floor of the Eternal Tower is infected and is being purified. Purification is complete. The player Shura's clearance reward will be settled later. Lusweki's big eyes were filled with shock. Shura again. He actually passed the SSSS level again. Strange, why should I say it again? Online games, only I can see hidden information. Author, Minjaya Old Thief. Chapter 48. Shura once again passed the SSSS level. This is already Shura's third announcement from the Eternal Tower in 3 days. The strong human race was even a little numb. Compared with the previous excitement, the public channel was filled with various Versailles speeches. It seems like the last SSSS level evaluation was just yesterday. Oh, it really was yesterday. That's okay. The Eternal Tower cannot live without SSSS level evaluations, just like the human race cannot live without Shura. This wave is to brush the Eternal Tower rating on behalf of others. If you don't pass the SSSS level, you will get a full refund. The Eternal Tower's SSSS level designated Junior Shura. Xiode. Tongtiande. Of course, there is a reason why they are so calm. Since the second floor of the Eternal Tower was infected by the devil and took some time to purify, Shura's clearance reward has not yet been issued. Everyone gathered together, eagerly waiting for the server-wide rewards, and blew a wave of Shura. Yesterday's SSSS level evaluation rewarded many powerful limited-time buffs, as well as a heaven-defying buff like Guardian Angel. Everyone's appetite was whetted and their hearts were full of expectations. What kind of surprise will Shura bring you today? At the same time, Yebai also faces a choice. He stood on the wasteland, the sound of the Eternal Tower ringing in his ears. Settling customs clearance scores and rewards. Eternal Blessing takes effect, and the clearance rating is automatically add 1. Received the reward. Wrath Mage is proficient in elemental balls. Please choose the corresponding element system, no more than 2. Several options appeared in front of Yebai's eyes: wood element, water element, fire element, wind element. According to the previous Eye of Insight prompts, after passing the level with 100% exploration degree and SSS grade, Yebai can add a series of proficiency to the Sky Wrath Mage. However, that was automatically assigned by the Eternal Tower and distributed randomly without considering Yebai's opinions. Clearing the SSSS level brought Yebai 2 benefits. 1. He can freely choose the element system he wants for better matching. 2. Yebai can add 2 new element systems instead of the original one. There is undoubtedly a huge improvement in quality. The choices given are a bit limited, they are all basic elemental ones. Yebai took out a mirror and pointed it at his handsome face. You want to admire your handsome face again. Okay, I admit that you are indeed handsome. Okay, okay, element affinity test is in progress. Since he has to choose a new element system, Yabai naturally wants to know which elements are more suitable for him. Only with higher elemental affinities can you better utilize the advantages of your profession, maximize your strengths and avoid weaknesses, and be on the right track. The top 5 element affinities are as follows. Thunder, 200%. Soul System, 110%. Fire, 95%. Wind element, 90%. Water system, 70%. According to the tips given by the Eye of Insight, Yabai's best choices should be Soul System and Fire System. Unfortunately, among the choices given by the Eternal Tower, there is no Soul System option, so I can only reluctantly let it go. Yabai secretly thought. The affinity of the Soul System is as high as 110%, probably because of time travel. Excluding Soul System, Yabai has 3 options in front of him: wind, fire, and water. The water type is the best choice for treatment, shielding, and battery life. Unfortunately, the affinity is only 70%, which is far different from the fire type. Yabai analyzed, the 3 elements of wind, thunder, and fire are consistent in nature and complement each other. No matter how you arrange and combine wind and thunder, thunder and fire, fire and wind, wind, fire and thunder, all 3 are compatible. If Yabai chooses water type, water thunder and fire thunder are fine, but water and fire are not compatible, so the coordination is a bit tricky. After making up his mind, Yabai made a choice. Confirm to receive Skywrath Mage Mastery Element Ball Wind System, Skywrath Mage Mastery Elemental Ball Fire System. Confirm. 2 elemental balls fell into Yabai's hands and were used by him immediately. The career template has evolved successfully. Sky's Wrath Mage, 3 elements of wind, fire, and thunder. The effect of 3 series of spell skills is add 100%, and the cooling time of 3 series of spell skills is minus 50%. Acquire professional skills Wind Fury and Ignition. Wind Fury, LV1, strengthens the next skill or attack, releases it twice in succession, and the buff lasts for 6 seconds. While the Wind Fury buff is being added, Wind Fury cannot be used. Mana consumption, 300 points. Cooling time, 6s. Different from Ready to Go doubles the effect, while Wind Fury is released continuously. For the same lightning arrow, if you use Ready to Fire, the damage will be doubled. If Wind Fury is superimposed, both damage will be reduced by magic resistance, and the overall damage will be even lower. And just like a bug patch, Wind Fury cannot be superimposed, killing Yabaika's idea of a bug. This comment is simply contemptuous. Am I, Yabai, the one who caused the bug? Yabai felt targeted by the Eternal Tower. Of course, Wind Fury is better than Ready to Go in some situations. For example, when you release Sky Thunder, with the blessing of Wind Fury, the first Thunder Blast will reduce the enemy's health to less than 30%, and the second blast can directly cause real damage. In this special case, a single shot of Wind Fury, a single shot of Ready to Go. But the biggest effect of Wind Fury is probably that it saves me the time to stack up and prepare for attack. Ready to Go will only take effect on Thunder skills. Yabai can completely follow the combo sequence of Wind Fury rightward arrow Ready to Attack *2 rightward arrow Wind Fury, to save half of the stacking time. Wind Fury, some skills are born to play supporting roles, right? Ignite, LV1, release flames to burn the designated target, causing 200 add 1.5 * intelligence, fire damage within 5 seconds, with a serious injury effect, reducing the target's healing effect by 40%, and obtaining the target's true vision. For every 10 enemies killed by ignition, the serious injury effect add 1%. Every time Ignite kills 100 enemies, the duration will be add 1s, and the damage will increase proportionally. Mana consumption, 200 points. Cooling time, 20s. So far, the 3 professional skills Yabai has mastered, Sky Thunder, Wind Fury, and Ignite, all have extremely powerful effects. Sky Thunder provides burst damage, Wind Fury shortens the charging time, and also provides good burst and melee capabilities. Ignite supplements the shortcomings of continuous damage and also adds a serious injury effect. The 3 skills each have their own merits and are among the strongest. After all, this is the professional skill of the Skywrath Mage SSS level template. If even SSS level professional skills are weak, how can ordinary players still play? At the same time, the server-wide announcement sounded again. Congratulations to player Shura for advancing to Wrath Mage, Fire and Thunder. Yabai noticed that the server-wide announcement only mentioned the 2 elements Fire and Thunder, but did not mention Wind. Because it is an additional option for SSSS level rating rewards, is there no announcement? Yabai's eyes lit up and he immediately realized that this incident had benefited him a lot. Now, the entire human race, even the whole world and the Abyss Plane have received the news immediately. Shura is now a Fire and Thunder cultivator. Yabai secretly practiced Wind and used it as a trump card. This is no longer a question of stunning or not. This is directly the lifeblood of karma. Moreover, the concealment of the Wind profession also added disguise to Yabai's true identity. Yabai can definitely declare to the outside world that he is a mage who majors in the Wind system. In this way, no one will doubt that he is Shura. After all, his career is not suitable for him. Yabai had too much room for maneuver, allowing him to move forward and retreat without being constrained. The Eternal Tower has made great achievements. With much anticipation, Eternal Tower has announced the server-wide rewards for this SSSS level advancement. The player who clears the 2nd level of Shura SSSS level will be rewarded with the Human Race buff Excellence in the Eternal Tower. Limited time buff Comprehensive Improvement, all attributes of the Eternal Tower Human Race add 20%, limited time 6 hours. Limited time buff Wind and Lightning, Eternal Tower Human Race's movement speed add 30%, attack speed add 15%, limited time 6 hours. Limited time buff Farewell to Weakness. After the Eternal Tower Human Race dies, it will not enter the weak period after returning to the Eternal Core City. It is limited to 6 hours. Excellence, the next time you enter the secret realm of job transfer, you will automatically gain 20% exploration degree, and you will have a greater chance of obtaining hidden professions and special professions at settlement. The above buff duration only counts the time in the Eternal Tower. When the server-wide rewards were announced, the public channel, camp channel, and family channel all fell into dead silence. Everyone's eyes were widened, staring at the announcement in front of them, their eyes motionless, and they even forgot to breathe. Until, the first person started cheering, Shura NB. It was like the first salute of the festival was fired, igniting everyone's emotions, and the entire human world fell into a sea of crazy celebrations. Such a powerful buff reward is difficult to measure in terms of money for the human race. Everyone benefits immensely and their strength is more or less improved. With happy smiles on their faces, they firmly believe that everyone has a bright future. Thousands of words were spoken on various major channels, and finally they converged into one sentence. Shura, NB. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Online games, only I can see hidden information. Author, Minjai Old Thief. Chapter 49. After the job transfer was completed, Bai Mang devoured Yabai again. He returned to Eternal Core City. The place is very crowded and lively, and the streets and alleys are discussing one topic, Shura. This time's limited time buff is different from last time. It only counts when you are inside the Eternal Tower. Therefore, instead of rushing into the Eternal Tower like last time, everyone can slowly purchase supplies, familiarize themselves with skills, and prepare for reaching higher levels. Yabai walked aimlessly on the street with the crowd, feeling the lively atmosphere around him and blending in perfectly. When the mood is high, he will also shout with the crowd, Shura, NB. Fortunately, what they shouted was not a refund. Yabai didn't waste time, he focused entirely on sorting out the harvest from the strip. Calling up the attribute panel, dense text appeared in front of Yabai's eyes. Eternal ID, Shura. Talent, Eye of Insight, SSS level. Level, 26. Occupation, Skywrath Mage, Wind, Fire, Thunder. HP 7100/7100. MP 8600/8600. Strength, 386, add 100. Intelligence, 565, add 40. Spirit, 515, add 30. Agility, 364. Constitution, 231, add 100. Luck, 12. Equipment, Force of Nature, add 1. Skills, Lightning Bolt, Thunder Blessing, Ready to Go, Sky Thunder, Wind Slash, Wind Fury, Ignite. Status, Thunder Affinity, Thunder Specialization, Fire Specialization, Wind Specialization. Free Attribute Points, 160 points. At the second level, Yabai's experience in killing monsters and bosses directly allowed him to rise to level 26, and his basic 5-dimensional attributes were also greatly improved. Each level also provides 10 free attribute points. Yabai did not forget that he was a mage, and divided his free attribute points equally into 2 attributes, intelligence and spirit. As an SSS level career template, Yabai's 5-dimensional attributes improved much faster than others. His current level 26 attribute panel is stronger than many level 5 and 60 geniuses. This also means that Yabai can achieve better results in the soldier test and improve his soldier level. The improvement of the soldier's rank was of great benefit to Yabai. Not only can you increase your monthly allowance, but you can also unlock more permissions and receive higher level tasks. The most important thing is, it can help Yabai recognize his own strength. Eye of Insight can indeed give Yabai an evaluation on paper. In terms of lethality alone, Yabai, who is fully stacked and ready to go, has an output ability comparable to that of the King of War. This is also Yabai's biggest reliance. Even if he was fighting head-on, ignoring the fact that he was fully prepared to attack, Yabai's strength was not inferior to that of 6th and 7th level soldiers. What comes out on paper is ultimately shallow. Only through actual combat, summary, reflection, and practical verification again. Only in the end can Yabai's own potential be fully tapped and he can display stronger strength in battle. In addition to the level improvement and the advancement of the Tianwu Mage professional template, the biggest gain from this trip should be the improvement of Tianli. Sky Thunder, as a growable damage skill, can increase the basic damage by 5 points each time it is released. During this dungeon trip, Yabai used Sky Thunder as much as possible, 120 times. Today's Tianli's basic damage has been increased from 200 to 800 points, with an additional 2 times the intelligence damage, and Yabai's intelligence attribute is 695 points. That is, 800 add 695 * 2 equal 2190 points. The Wrath Mage has a 100% bonus and the Power of Nature has a 15% bonus. Even if you don't have to prepare for the attack, you can still cause nearly 4,700 points of damage. Yabai fired a thunderbolt and instantly killed ordinary 3rd level soldiers. The 4th and 5th level soldiers would also lose half of their lives. Looking at the damage figures calculated by the Eye of Insight, Yabai nodded with satisfaction. If Wind Fury plus Sky Thunder, it can cause nearly 10,000 output in an instant, enough to kill a 6th level soldier instantly. Putting away the attribute panel, Yabai randomly picked a skill bookstore and walked in. If all the skill books and equipment are in the trading secret realm and bought from the Goblin Boy, my identity will be easily exposed after a long time. Yabai is in great demand now, so he cultivates 3 elements at once: wind element, thunder element, and fire element. He planned to anonymously purchase some transitional skill books to learn in Eternal Core City. Really good stuff, what Yabai needs. Wind-related skill books and equipment can be bought from the Goblin Brother. Behind the Goblin Brother is the Pavilion of All Things. Although it has an official background, it is not absolutely safe. All things related to the wind system will not reveal Yabai's Shura identity, so you can safely obtain them from this channel. As for the fire element, Yabai just met a big boss who plays with fire today, Qingyan War King. Establishing a friendly cooperative relationship with the other party will be beneficial to Yabai without any harm. The Qingyan War King not only made great achievements in battle, but was also extremely loyal to the human race. He took the lead in every battle and never retreated. The most important thunder element related materials are the most likely to expose Shura's identity. Yabai decided to only purchase and trade from Wolf's Lair in the future, so as to ensure his absolute safety. Although this arrangement may seem cumbersome, it is necessary. There was a loud shout of Shura NB outside. Why? Because in just 2 days, Shura passed the SSSS level twice, which raised the human race's strength and potential to a big level. The more important Shura is to the human race, the more threatening he is in the eyes of the demon god. Even if the trees are beautiful in the forest, the wind will destroy them. If Yabai wants to survive, in addition to improving his strength as soon as possible, he must also keep a low profile, hide his identity as much as possible, and buy time for himself to develop. He has no shortage of resources now. What is missing is time to transform resources into strength. After sorting out his thoughts, Yabai's thoughts became clearer. First buy a batch of wind skill books to learn, and then use your newly learned wind skills to take the warrior test. Get me a low-level wind shield skill book, as well as wind blade, lightness technique, wind binding. Yabai bought several average level skill books one after another, spending a total of 80 gold coins. Brother, you are a wind mage, right? I have a good wind staff here, do you want to take a look? The owner of the skill bookstore was very enthusiastic. He had just completed the biggest sale of the day and was almost smiling. The guy wearing the lone wolf mask spent 80 gold coins without even blinking. You know, although these low-level skill books are practical, ordinary people still have to save money for a while before they can bite the bullet and buy one. After all, the price is there. A skill book is worth several thousand or even tens of thousands of dragon coins. How many drumsticks can you buy? As for rich people, they are more willing to learn skills with better results and look down on these street stalls. Who would buy these low-level skill books like Yabai buys vegetables at the market? No need for the staff. Do you have any other weapons here? Yabai asked, like boxing gloves or something. Fist gloves. The boss frowned. Why does this guy want gloves? Does the mage also want to learn melee combat? Are they all so introverted now? Even though he was doubtful, the boss still borrowed 2 gloves from the nearby weapons store. At last, Yabai bought a blade glove that could be used by all professions for 15 gold coins. It had an extremely weak armor-breaking effect. It can temporarily make up for Yabai's melee output ability. Yabai put on his gloves and left under the surprised eyes of his boss. I have learned all the wind skill books, and now I have the output ability just by relying on the wind skill. Yabai had participated in the soldier test, and in his memory, the test room was monitored. Zhang Yun and the others also had a quarrel once, forcing the bald manager to delete the video. Yabai wanted to continue taking part in the soldier test without exposing his identity. You should use thunder and fire skills as little as possible and use wind more. After making all preparations, Yebai entered the soldier testing hall again. After receiving the number plate and scanning the lone wolf medal, Yebai was placed in the express lane. Lao Yu, there is a first-order soldier who wants to conduct the soldier test again, lone wolf. A security guard who was watching the surveillance looked up and shouted. For some reason, the hall manager told them that any first-order soldiers who want to test in the near future must inform him. What? The bald manager trembled, stood up suddenly, rushed to the monitor, and locked his eyes on Yebai's back. Does it look like it? I can't tell, there is no ID or any mark. Is it the genius from yesterday? The bald manager hesitated and couldn't make up his mind. The sharp-eyed security guard on the side saw the extraordinariness of Yebai's mask and said in surprise. Hey, this is still a golden lone wolf. That's okay. This is the first time I've seen a first-level warrior's golden lone wolf. The security guard's words attracted the attention of many people, who gathered around him and wanted to know more. As he said, it is really rare for a first-level soldier to become a golden lone wolf. Get out of the way, get out of the way. Contrary to everyone else, the bald manager's face turned pale. He recognized the other party's identity, hurriedly pushed through the crowd, and struggled out of the crowd. It must be the genius from yesterday. In just one day, he turned into a golden lone wolf. We must report to the director as soon as possible. The bald manager, eager to make amends, rushed to the director's office at an extremely fast speed, wishing he had 4 legs. He didn't even bother to knock on the door and rushed straight into the office. Leader, leader. The bald manager's face turned pale, he was gasping for air and speechless. What's going on in such a panic? The director was receiving guests, and after being disturbed by the bald manager, he reprimanded him unhappily. Xiao Yu, how many times have I told you that you should be calm when things happen, and don't panic or lose your sense of control when encountering trivial things? After reprimanding him, the director smiled apologetically at the guest as an apology. Then he looked at the bald manager. The director picked up the teacup and asked casually. Tell me, what's the matter? Yesterday's genius came back. The bald manager wiped the sweat from his forehead and spoke carefully. He has become a golden lone wolf and is here to take part in the battle test again. Puff. Tea gushed out from the director's mouth and he blurted out, holy shit, is it true or not? Bald manager, we promised to be calm when things happen and not be alarmed when dealing with things. Show your sense of proportion. Hee hee. Of course, the bald manager only dared to think about these words in his heart. If you say that, even if you don't die, you will be sent to the abyss to dig for rocks. The bald manager nodded, it's absolutely true. Why are you still standing there? The director stood up suddenly and walked out. The combat power test monitoring of the Golden Lone Wolf has a very high confidentiality level and cannot be viewed on the mobile terminal. It cannot be viewed even if it is lower than the War King's authority. Let's go to the control room. The director's eyes shone with excitement. He paid special attention to this mysterious genius. Which step can you achieve? A second-level warrior or a third-level warrior? Director, I'm looking forward to it. Online games, only I can see hidden information. Author, Minjai Old Thief. Chapter 50. Everyone, please put aside what you are doing. Arriving at the control room, the director looked as usual and said in a deep voice. In order to support everyone's breakthrough in the Eternal Tower, today is a half-day paid holiday. Some people haven't realized yet, why are good things happening to them one after another? The thoughtful and experienced people looked at each other and smiled knowingly, and they probably guessed the reason. I'm afraid another genius appears from nowhere. Test monitoring must be kept strictly confidential. That's right, he used this excuse to fool us last time. He didn't even want to change his excuse. He even paused in the same tone. Everyone exchanged their thoughts with their eyes, lowered their heads, took small steps, and walked out of the monitoring room happily. Who can say no to paid time off? After clearing the scene, only 3 people were left in the monitoring room. The director, the bald manager, and the director's guest, a veteran warrior with a terrifying aura. Qing Yan, I haven't introduced you yet. This Xiao Yu followed me in the Legion. Later, after I retired to the second line, he has been under my control. The veteran war king is none other than Lu Qingjian. He had nothing to do, so he simply came to the Eternal Core City to have tea with old friends and talk about old times. Of course, the most important thing is that Lu Sueki will most likely come to participate in the combat test today. Lu Qingjian watched from the side, concealing the secret of his granddaughter's second awakening of talent. A veteran warrior like him especially understands how to make a fortune silently. But he never expected that he would bump into Ye Bai coming to test his combat strength. How mysterious is this genius you are talking about? Lu Qingjian was confident and said without showing off at all. I am also a person who has seen the world. Xuemeng is in the same class as me. In the entrance test that year, I even punched him. The director snorted coldly. Okay, I've heard your nonsense so many times that I'm almost tired of hearing it. The thing that Lu Qingjian is most proud of in his life is not being promoted to the King of War, but that he once beat Xuemeng. Xuemeng, that is the 9th level god of war, the god of war among gods of war. Even the most powerful man came forward to accept him as his adopted son, which shows the terrifying potential and strength of this person. Okay, all joking aside, it only took Xuemeng 3 days to pass the 3rd level combat soldier test. Lu Qingjian's eyes passed through the monitoring screen and landed on Ye Bai. It's probably the 3rd day for this kid to be fully prepared. Are you sure about the 2nd level soldier test? Hearing Lu Qingjian's words, the bald manager and director's expressions suddenly looked strange. The director suppressed his laughter and said, Xiao Yu, open the eyes of our Qingyan War King and tell him what this genius did yesterday. The bald manager said honestly. He passed the neurological reaction level of the 3rd level warrior test yesterday. What? Lu Qingjian stood up suddenly, his face full of disbelief, and blurted out, Old Wu, please don't lie to me. Why are you lying to me? I submitted your application early in the morning. Director Wu said calmly, Xuemeng is indeed fierce, he is even stronger than Xuemeng. I just made a bet with you that this person's advancement speed is definitely faster than Xuemeng's. Stop talking nonsense, he's going to start testing. Lu Qingjian looked at the movement on the screen and asked casually. What level of soldier did he choose for the test? As a golden warrior, Ye Bai can choose to take the cross-level test. Once he passes the test, he can directly upgrade several levels in a row. Let me see. Director Wu skillfully pressed a few buttons, and a number appeared on the screen. When the numbers appeared, the entire monitoring room fell into deathly silence. Except for the sound of the equipment running, there was no movement at all. Call. Call. Everyone's face was filled with disbelief, and a cold wind seemed to blow through their hearts, biting their hearts. 5. This genius actually chose to take the 5th level soldier test. While they were in a daze. Testing begins. The 5th level warrior test, why does it feel so difficult? Ye Bai easily dodged the attacks one after another, even without the help of the Eye of Insight prompts, he could do this. After choosing wind element, Ye Bai directly maximized his mobility. Wind skills are mainly dexterity and briskness, and with a 100% effect bonus, they are even more powerful. Even ordinary low-level skills can have the effect of high-level skills in Ye Bai's hands. Wind walking slash. Ye Bai even had the leisure to try new techniques. He aimed at a kitchen knife, used wind slash, and tried to move at extremely high speeds. The figure passed through the after images, and Yabai appeared next to the kitchen knife. Done. Yabai's eyes lit up. Could wine stepping / be used like this? When fighting in the future, he can throw flying props by himself, or even use flying skills to use the opponent to move at high speed. The neurological reaction test that troubled countless people, in Yabai's hands, turned into a fun place to test the effects of skills. What's even more frightening is that, even if Yabai had a trying mentality, he could still take a leisurely stroll, sit and watch the clouds roll in and out, as if he was not involved. The 5th level warrior test had no difficulty for him. The expressions of shock on the faces of the 3 people who were watching Yabai's test became even more intense. The bald manager asked slightly tremblingly. Old leader, is this something we should see? Even if he is a fool, he now has some guesses about the identity of the lone wolf on the screen. 3 days, just 3 days. He has grown into a 5th level warrior and above, even more powerful than Xuemeng back then. You know, Xuemeng is an SS level talent, already the best. Then, the true identity of this lone wolf is ready to be revealed, almost throwing the answer in the faces of the 3 of them. Shura. It turned out to be Shura. Da-da-da. The sound of footsteps came from behind the 3 of them, causing them to turn around quickly in fright. Master Yingju. Lu Qingjian hurriedly saluted and said, "We haven't seen each other for more than 30 years, but your figure is so familiar to me. It feels like I just saw you yesterday." The person coming is none other than Yingju. Shadow level powerhouse, ranked 9th in strength, hence the name Shadow 9. Seeing Lu Qingjian here, Yingju couldn't help but shake his head and sighed. "Lord Yingju, why are you sighing?" Lu Qingjian asked doubtfully. Before he reported it, they discovered the existence of someone suspected to be Shura. This is almost the most important discovery. Yingju stretched out his skinny palm, touched Lu Qingjian's head, looked at him with caring eyes, like an amiable elder, and said, "I sigh for you." Lu Qingjian became even more confused and sighed for him. Did he do something wrong? Yingju continued. "Xiaoliu, do you know that when a forbidden memory sealing spell is used multiple times on the same target, it will significantly affect the target's intelligence level? This is the first time I've heard of this, but what does this have to do with me?" Before Lu Qingjian finished speaking, his eyes suddenly went dark, and a black mist enveloped him silently. Even if he was as powerful as the peak Battle King, he had no strength left to resist. "What a wonderful boy!" Yingju sighed. "If I seal it a few more times, I'm afraid I will really become a fool. I'm always involved with this person, and I don't know if your luck is good or bad. Anyway, I'll give you a hard time." After saying that, the black mist rolled back into Yingju's sleeves. Lu Qingjian, Director Wu, and the bald manager were all lying on the ground, unconscious. Only Yingju stood there, staring at the surveillance video. When he was alone, a rare look of fanaticism appeared on his thin old face. There seemed to be fire in his eyes. His skinny body contained terrifying energy, and his life was burning. "Come on, show me. How far can the future strongest man of our human race be able to achieve?" After saying that, a black mist suddenly shot out from the solace of Yingju's feet and got into the console. Yabai was in the testing room. The whole room suddenly flashed with red light. All the tests stopped. Yabai looked around cautiously. Lines of notes popped up in front of his eyes. A certain old guy who doesn't talk about martial arts started the 9th level soldier test Shura customized version. What will appear next will be the projection left by the most powerful person. The projection has 1/10 of the strength of the most powerful person at that time. You'd better pray, hoping to draw the projection of the most powerful nightmare. Seeing this note, Yabai was slightly surprised and asked, "Why nightmare? Is it because the strongest nightmare is the weakest?" Of the 3 strongest men, the one Yabai heard about the most was Nightmare. It seemed that he was in charge of the rear base camp at Blue Star. The Eye of Insight quickly gave the answer. Fighting nightmares, death is the least painful way, even with a sweet taste. Before the battle even started, the Eye of Insight had already sentenced Ye-Bai to death. This wave is 15 shots, I initiated it. The note in front of Ye-Bai's eyes suddenly distorted, and the font was extremely blurry, as if an ink painting had been thrown into a pool. This was the first time Ye-Bai encountered this situation. The Eye of Insight is usually skin-friendly, and its SSS-level talents have never been lost. Finally, Mo Tuan pieced together a few words that were barely distinguishable. He is coming.